We've made it back down to the train track job, and here's all my culverts. I think these are 12-inch. All the 12-inch ones are going to be used. What's going to go underneath the track? There's going to be 2 or 3 sets of them up there, and then the ones down there, and then these 36-inch ones are going to go in this area right here, and this is what he's calling Prairie Hills, and basically it's just going to be 5 or 6 just kind of rolling hills or mounds with grass on top of them where kids can just run up these hills and climb in. And I think 3 or 4 of these are going to just be in the middle of the hills as like tunnels they can just run through from one side to the other, and then a couple of them kind of in front of the excavator and behind that pile. I think we're just going to have like one 15 to 18 foot high pile of dirt, and we're going to take 1 or 2 of these and kind of set it at an angle and make a little bit of a slide where they kind of, it's like I guess like a tunnel slide basically, where you'll climb up that mound and slide down the bottom and have to climb back out and around. I'm kind of excited about this part. I think that's going to be pretty neat. He's got me a picture, but I basically, like everything else, I mean, Billy's great to work for and kind of just lets me have free reign on a lot of this stuff. So I can kind of build these hills. Like I said, I kind of usually try to base it off his drawings, but if there's something else I think will be a little bit different or neat, or I've been interested in trying, he's game for that. So it doesn't always have to be just dead on to the drawing. So this is kind of fun. Never really done anything like this, so you get to try to be a little creative, and we'll just see how it goes. But that's going to eat up a lot of the spoil piles and stuff. We just got to get moved over here, then probably use the 2150 and kind of shape it, and then we'll get those set in place, and then I'll bring the 260 down with the Felco compaction wheel and try to kind of pack around them and such, and then slick the tops of them up and throw some sod on it. So but I think for today, or for right now, I'm going to take and just, this is kind of some junky stuff, and just spread out over this whole area, because I want to kind of build everything from that tree, the backside, and here, just kind of make one, I don't know, bigger mound, not quite as tall as that, but just kind of bring the grade of this area up so that the water actually sheds around it and it's not just sitting down in here. And then we'll start building the hills and the mounds on top of there. This is kind of my little map or whatever, and yeah, the Prairie Hills thing is right there. So that's kind of, he's actually revised it kind of from where it says Prairie Hills. That bigger pile is going to go more right there, and I'm supposed to be getting kind of like a 3D print, but essentially it's kind of something like that. Just like I said, grassy mounds that will have these pipes and stuff like that through there. So should be pretty neat and eat up a lot of the spoil piles, which will be nice. So yeah, we'll just kind of get this stuff raked out, tracked in for now, and see what else we can get into. See if I'm trying to rake this stuff out. So yeah, it's crazy. This is that stuff out of there, like the top dries out, but that center is just muddy. Just like kind of throw it out and raise the level of this area up a little bit. And hopefully this stuff will start drying if it's a little thinner. That just looks like a little saturated. Take that mound and just go ahead and kind of knock it down. And like I said, I got those pictures, but I'm kind of gonna, I don't know, we'll just kind of, however it works out, we'll make some. But I know like the big hill is gonna be about back here, I think, where I'm sitting maybe. If I can bring this whole grade up like, I don't know, 18, 20 inches. Just make one huge flat mound and then start building those mounds on top of it. That'll help shed all the water away. Well, that's about as good as that's gonna get for now. We'll let it dry out for a little while, and before I leave, I may jump on the loader and try to kind of track it down or slick it up a little bit better. Well, this is the mess that's causing all the water issues and problems over there. It's just kind of a bowl or a low spot, and I don't know, I'm sure it's just from the rain. It just sits here because this is where all this water drains over here to this property, and this is low. And at one point somebody had cut through there so it would drain out that way, but this is where I ran that mulcher, and I'm actually going to kind of maybe fill some of that in and cut the swell down through here. I'm going to leave this berm just to kind of help carry more of the water. And what I'm thinking is to try to kind of clean this up. I'll probably just dig a ditch, I guess, out where these. I'm going to try to keep as many trees as we possibly can, which I don't know how this doesn't kill these with all this water here, but I may cut a ditch down there and see if I can just get this stuff to drain on around. And then I'm thinking about just taking all these piles and just start trying to work them in here and just bring the grade of this up, because I'm still going to put a ditch along the edge of the track, but I just want to kind of fill this in a little bit and maybe get it to stop holding water right here, because it's lower and then it goes back up. I may have to even take some of those trees out, and he just wants to kind of leave a lot of the trees at least along the edge of the track as we can, but I may just have to pop some of those out and then just start at this end and just start pushing some of that dirt and mud over here and just kind of forcing that water out the other end, and then see if we can't get this to drain out. So that's the biggest problem here. Once I cut that ditch, it just all started bleeding out that side. So, but this is about the only spot along the edge of the track now that's holding any water. So let's see what we can get done. on here. So now we're loading our dirt. I don't know what you'd call it. It's not really topsoil. It's not really clay. I guess dirt, junk. And I know it seems like kind of weird, but we're just hauling it right over there to make those mounds. But this seems to be the most efficient way. I think it's like 10 or 11 scoops with this will fill this truck. And I got I already had a huge chunk of mud falling, plus the board off the side of it, so that's cool. We got a grease fitting that's like whining. I think it must be up on the stick, because I grease the bucket like crazy, but I don't know if I got something down in there. Check it over and see. Wasn't doing that the other day, so. Yeah, I think it's up there on the stick. That one's one I had, it's broke off, and I tried to replace it, and it's like, I got it to take some grease, but it doesn't ever seem like it takes as much as it needs to. That though is going to make for a long, boring day. Well, between me loading and Dad running his truck, I think I counted like 49 or 50 loads in this mess. And then I hauled off or loaded up 4 more trucks. The guys that brought the clay, they came and got some of the more decent stuff. It actually held up better than what I thought. It was a little bit soft in places, but was still able to get in here. Because it looks like we got a ton done, which I mean 50 loads since like 10:30 or 11 o'clock this morning, I guess isn't too bad. But right around the corner on the inside, we got all of that. Let's see if I can block the sun. Kind of around, now you can't even see it on the camera, but there's one little pile right here, and then it starts around that curve. Then we got some more to do on the outside or whatever. So I mean, I guess it's a fair amount. It's just crazy that it looks like it's way more progress over there than these little piles in a line. But and some of it, I mean, I just kind of roughed it in, and then I'm going to leave a little bit of it where I can take the loader and kind of try to grade it out. I'll probably work on trying to do some of that tomorrow in case it does happen to rain Wednesday. At least this section will be kind of slicked up. And I mean, I'm happy with I definitely got the road base up high enough, so that's good. It kind of got to where it was hard to tell over here. I knew I built this side up pretty good, but you just never know over there. There's gonna be plenty of room to kind of grade that out and have some fall on that. I learned that running an excavator and loading a dump truck all day is not that exciting. So it's not bad, it just kind of gets a little boring because it's real monotonous, but it's got to be done. We're all fueled up, greased up. The greaser in the top of the stick is what I'd replaced it. It was missing whenever I got it. I've replaced it, but I don't know, the cert got hit or something, kind of smashed it, but it won't take any more grease. So I tried to kind of spray some WD-40 and stuff on it, and finally kind of quieted down, which kind of tells me that that's what the problem was. So I'm gonna go to Rally's tonight and pick one up, and in the morning we'll grease. I greased everything else. I mean, I just kept greasing the bucket and everything, thinking I was losing my mind. But yeah, that's the culprit. So I'll get that changed out in the morning and put a bunch of grease in there, and hopefully we'll be good to go again. All right, well, these guys are fueled up and tucked in, so let's head to the house.